Today we're working on the Belair, doing a much needed upgrade. If you look at the cross member here, you can see that the lowest part of the car is the oil pan, which is not good. We used the truck oil pan on this LS swap because it was cheap and we were in a hurry to get going. So here's where it's been hitting the ground. But it's scraping it off, so I ordered a Holley oil pan. I got this Holley oil pan, so we're going to try to get that one off and put this one on, so I don't have to worry when I go through a dip that I'm gonna bust my oil pan. Oh, okay, we got the oil drained out of the oil pan. Now we're working on taking the, dropping the center link down. I got the idler arm, got the nut off that, got to break it loose. It shouldn't be too bad because I just replaced that not too long ago. And we're gonna try to get the pitman arm off, so we can just drop this whole thing down and get more room to tilt the oil pan whenever we unbolt it. We got all the bolts out of the oil pan, I think, that hold it on. So we're gonna see what it's gonna take to get this out of here. We might have to take the motor mount bolts out and jack the motor up. So we'll see. Okay, got the oil pan out. I would not recommend the same setup because this show is for entertainment purposes only. So we have a jack handle on top of a bottle jack on top of 3 6x6s to jack up the front of the motor enough to clear the cross member on the oil pan. So got it out. Now we just got to clean it up, change the pickup, and we should be ready to put the other one back on there. Went back on pretty easy. A lot easier than you thought it would. Got it all bolted down. We're just lining up I got that motor mount. Can't see it because of the sun, but
raise that up just a little bit.
Got this motor mount in. Now we're trying to line this one up here. With the oil pan fully installed, it now doesn't sit 4 inches below the cross member. So what we're gonna do is lower the car because it looks a lot better. Getting started to pull the cotter pins off. I just replaced the ball joints about 10,000 miles ago, so hopefully they'll pop right out pretty easy. And I got some new brakes to go on it from CP, well, they're from Summit, but they're CPP 11-inch disc. And it's pretty cool. They come out of the box just like this, completely assembled. So it's the whole spindle and everything. So we'll just be able to pull those off and put these right back on. Got all the bolts broke loose, the nuts for the ball joints. This has that goofy ball joint on the bottom that goes down instead of up, which is just makes it a little more fun to get it apart. Got the shocks out. Got to take the brake lines off, and we're just going to try to take this whole thing off in one piece. The passenger side is installed. Got it all hooked up. Got the new rotor on. Everything's hooked back up. Had to grind the stop for the stop that keeps you from turning too far. Had to grind that off and cut off the end of this bolt because I have new ball joints that bolt in, so I had to cut the end off of that. Also had to grind the bottom of the steering arm to clear. So, but it's all back together. Also cut one coil out of the springs, so hopefully that'll lower it about 3.5 inches or so with the 2-inch spindle. So getting started on the other side. Just getting ready to pull the steering arm off, and then we'll pop the ball joints loose and take this knuckle off. Driver's side's almost back together. Got to put the shock in. Just got done clearancing the steering arm. Had to grind off down under there to get it to clear, and had to cut a little bit off this stop so we get our full lock-to-lock turning. But there's the spindle with nothing on it, getting ready to put the brakes back on it, and have to fabricate a brake line because this one here decided it didn't want to come off, but we got a new master cylinder proportioning valve anyways, so we'll have to remake all that. Okay, I got the bottom end buttoned up pretty much, other than making that one line. We're getting in here, soaking all these lines, so they'll come off. Got the distribution block down there. Got my new proportioning valve up here, which is set up for disc brakes in the front and drums in the rear. We're going to try to put it in the same spot so we don't have to make new lines for everything else. And I got a new master cylinder over here also, which is a lot bigger, but should work pretty good. The master cylinder and distribution block are out. Didn't break any more lines, so that's good. Here's the new one. Here's the old one. We're going to try to get these lines out of the top and reuse them on the new one.
Try is the key word.
Right. Got the new proportioning valve. Made a new line to go to the front part of the caliper. So now we're going to try to get it in here and set it, put the two lines that we still have back in so we know where to make our third line to go to the driver's side front tire. Okay, fast forward to the next day. Had trouble, couldn't find anybody around town. Finally found someone today that had a fitting that would thread onto that. And go into the back of the proportioning valve, because apparently that's an oddball size down there. So we have this reducer that goes into the back of the proportioning valve, and then another one that goes into the back of that to get bigger to go onto that line. So hopefully that'll get us set up so we can get this proportioning valve installed. Got the lines made up, got them in there pushing the pedal, bleeding this master cylinder out before we hook the lines up, try to bleed the whole car. So. Getting there slowly. Belair's all finished up. Got the brakes bled, didn't record any of that because no one wants to watch that. Had to have it lined when I got done because the front tires was aggressively pointing towards each other. I got a sheet here with the before measurements. If you look at the toe, she was pretty far out on quite a few things, but they got her all straightened out. Now it drives real good. So, drives like it did before, but it just looks a whole lot better. Got the front end out of the air. So now I can let some air out of the shocks in the back and get the whole thing sitting down a little bit lower. Thanks for watching. Feel free to like and leave a comment below and subscribe if you want to see more of my junk getting fixed up.